Welcome to episode 34 of season 1, taking it to the nub. Man, we are moving right along, and I'm going to tell you right now, today, I got somebody that a lot of you may not even know. Hac Coker from Leones Cigars here in Lakeland, Florida. And oh, by the way, I am reporting tonight. You don't see my backdrop. I'm from an undisclosed location here in Florida, celebrating the last hours of my 60 years of life, because tomorrow I become 61. So let me bring in Henry. Brother Henry, how are you?
Oh, well, hey there. How are you, Jimmie? I'm doing very, very well, man. How are you tonight?
That's good. What are you smoking tonight?
I'm smoking a Tres Leones Barbary, actually. I've become quite
man. I like that cigar. 90 rated on my site. I didn't have another one of yours that I was going to smoke because I want to review it. But tonight, actually, a little big shout out to Moya Ruiz, La Jugada, Habano. This is one of my favorite cigars from their line.
excellent.
Yeah, so I'm coming in from I'm not too far from you. I'm not going to give my location, but I will tell you it has something to do with the Gulf Coast.
All right. I like it. I like it. I wish I was there. I've got a pool in near proximity to me, so.
That's right. I just we spent a little time at the pool here and a little jacuzzi action, a little beach action, a little celebratory action.
I was going to say, you down there for any specific reason?
This is, as I introduce myself, this is the last hours of my time around the sun.
Cheers.
61, baby. Right there. Cheers.
I remember my 61st birthday.
What are you drinking?
I am sipping on some Blantons this evening. I figured Jimmie wants to do a podcast and put me on Facebook Live. I think this may be my first actual Facebook Live video. So I figure the finest cigars that I know about and the finest bourbon, might as well make an ass out of myself. So
there you go.
Here.
I'm having a little diplomatic
yeah,
okay, right here, some little Venezuelan rum. It goes very well.
Are you there? Good.
So tell me a little bit about this. So you have another partner in your business, and the two of you, and his name is?
My business partner is Jacob Munn.
All right. How did you two get together?
Well, that is a long and torrid story if you are prepared to hear. I met Jacob probably about 10 years ago. And he was a one-man show in a Mercedes repair shop that he owned. And we got together and kicked it around for a couple of years. We actually started a Mercedes dealership here in Lake. So we have Value Imports Plus. We're a Mercedes dealer, repair shop, salvage dealer, and I brought it to glory. Jacob's the one who knows how to do everything. I joke and say I'm the pretty face. I do the paperwork, he does all the hard work, and he knows how to do everything. I smile and answer the phone. So yeah, he's pretty fantastic. And so we've been doing that for about 6 or 7 years. And we've got a small property management company called Market Zero Enterprises. If you're familiar with the Big Lebowski, when Walter Sobchak tells Smokey to Market Zero at the bowling alley, we actually named our company after that phrase. So, but yeah, we've been doing this for about 6 or 7 years, and then I called him up one day. I said, "Hey, I think I want to do a cigar company." And he said, "I'm in." I said, "All right, good," because I did not want to foot the bill for this alone.
Now, what year was this that you decided to get into this business?
That would have been 2020.
2020.
I am Tres Leones. Tres Leones was founded in January 2020.
Now,
Yeah.
did the FDA scare you guys? How
No,
do like look at this and like knowing that the FDA may, you may not be able to get predicate cigars in, but we've gone past that for a while. What was your intel on this? I mean, how did you decide that I'm just going to get into the cigar business when
well,
people were scared?
if you want me to be perfectly honest, I was washing my hair one day before I went to work at Value Imports Plus, and I thought up the name Trace Leones. So then I go to my favorite cigar lounge here in Lakeland, Cigar Life. You're familiar with Patty and Mario Medina.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm shooting the breeze with them, and I said, "What do you guys think about this name?" And there's a couple other guys, regulars there, and they go, "Man, that's pretty solid." I say, "Yeah." They go, "Yeah." I said, "I think I'm going to start a cigar company." And they all just looked at me like I had I had just pulled my pants down in the middle of the place. I said, "What do you know about that?" I said, "I have no idea." I said, I will figure it out, you know." So I honestly, I've been on the retail side of this industry for a long time. I'm 36 years old. I've been smoking cigars since probably before I was 18. Um, and I just started making my way through it. I was doing research, talking to Patty and Mario, talking to Z, and I actually, the cigar hustler, Mike Zapankovich.
Absolutely.
With Pastani. I called them all up. A couple of them said, "Don't waste your time. Don't do it."
So they said, don't get into this. You're out of your mind. You're gonna,
I mean,
too many roadblocks. And you two said,
a couple of them, I'll use them unnamed, but yeah, a couple of them said, "Don't do it. Don't waste your time." Oh yeah, absolutely.
were you two like gun ho, or did you get a little scared going?
No, not at all. I figured if I can do it, I can do it. If not, I'll uh, I'll keep making invoices for the hard work that Jacob puts out and pay the bills.
So Trey Leones Cigars, what does that name
But
mean to you?
so, like I said, I jokingly say that I came up with it while I was washing my hair. But Tres Leones, obviously means three lions. I have two young sons, and my business partner has two young sons. And it just hit me. I'm like, and then my wife says, "Well, a pride of lions is, a group of lions is a pride of lions." I said, "Okay, so we're Tres Leones." And as is my business partner. And well, my business partner's father he was a big game hunter, also a insanely apt Mercedes guy. I mean, Jacob took after him in spades, and it was, that's the reason we are where we are, really. But his dad was a huge cigar smoker, a big game hunter, big into lions, and it all fit into place. And I thought it was perfect. Again, as you said earlier, I am a gringo, so and as is Jacob. So I thought, how am I going to do this? A couple of white guys started a Spanish named cigar company. So that's been interesting. People meet me, I make calls and I send emails, and then we meet, and they go, "Oh, well, you're not Spanish, you're not Hispanic," and I'm like, "Yeah, no, I mean, I know a few words. I can say some off color things in Spanish." But no, that's sort of how the name came up. And like I said earlier, I asked Jacob, I said, "Look, I'm going to do this. Are you in?" He said, "Yeah, I'm in." He said, "All right, let's figure this out." So, and off we went.
So as you got into the business and you launched it in 2020, you said, how did the uh, industry around you accept this? I mean, did you have a relationship with the industry at all?
I got to be honest with you, Jimmie. Again, I might say I'll be honest with you quite a bit tonight. The industry, I feel like more or less accepted us with open arms. I mean, I have been blown away by what I am seeing is a ton of camaraderie within everything. It's not and I understand it may be a dog eat dog, but everyone I've come into contact with is just they're cheerleaders for everybody. Like I want everyone to do well, and everyone that I'm running into is the same, and it's all teachable stuff. Like I discuss problems that I'm having and things that I'm learning, and they go, "Yep, we've all done that. Yep, done it 100 times," and it's just amazing, I had some stage advice at the beginning from some people with open arms that said, "Don't do it. Are you crazy?" And I, found some good people in the industry, which, like I said, most people have been fantastic so far. Um, Everyone's just ready to help with information. If you got a question, they're not going to say, "Oh, well, good luck, figure it out." They'll say, "Well, this is how I did it." And I like to think of myself as not a fool in that sense. If you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. And I am wide open to advice from anyone and everyone I come into contact with regarding this. And I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to navigate this industry as best I can. And I think I'm doing relatively well. I mean, it's been fun and the cigars are selling and they're rated 90 by the Stogie Press. I don't know if you've seen that. So that was a good stamp of approval I got. I really enjoyed that.
So I found your cigars very,
Most great.
and one of the things you told me is you, after looking around and deciding who you're going to work with, you chose to work with Codober and Morales. And those that don't know Codober and Morales, they're a local Central Florida cigar company, deep roots in the cigar industry, all the way back to Cuba. Cuban immigrants came in, started the company. I love Z. I've known him for years, and he created that cigar for you. And I'm going to tell you, it's what I would expect from Z. So Z did a great job on that. How did you end up connecting with Z from Codober Morales?
Well, he lost his car to me in a poker game one night, and I figured he needed to get to work, so we figured out a different way to settle the debt. And no, I actually met Z through Patty and Mario at Cigar Line. He was there. I mean, he was there doing a cigar rolling event, and I don't know what happened. I guess we hit it off, and we always kept in contact here and there for the last probably 3 or 4 years. I think Cigar Life has been open pushing 3 years now. I think they just had their
Yes.
third year or coming up on their fourth year anniversary. And met him right off the bat, and he was just a super cool guy. Like I said, very similar to everything I'm experiencing in the industry. And when I decided to do it, the Pankowitz from Cigar Hustler actually said, "Look, if you're going to do it, call Z. You know Z." And Mario and Patty said the same thing. They were like, "If you need some help, call Z." So I called Z, and Z was there with open arms. Said, "Yeah, let's do it, brother. What do you want to do?" I said, "I guess we need to develop a blend." And he said, "Yeah, let's do that." So I went to Altamont Springs to their place, and spent a full day, sitting in the warehouse, and he's telling me everything. I literally sat down in that warehouse with Z and Emil, and I said, "Let me tell you something. As you know, business wise, I can mostly figure everything out from it. I said, but other than the retail side of this industry, I know jack squat. Like I want to get into it. I want to bring a premium cigar to market. I know you guys make and distribute premium cigars." And they said, "All right, well, we can teach you." I said, "Look, I'm not a sommelier or an aficionado in the sense that I'm going to light a cigar and say, oh, I noticed notes of coffee, and I don't have that palate." I said I can light a cigar and tell you if it's a $1 stick or a factory second, or I can light a cigar and tell you that's a Partagas Series D from Habana. That's about as far as it went. I know the taste of good cigars. I know the taste of bad cigars, and I wanted to bring a premium cigar to market. And Z blended a couple cigars, and he said, "I think this is the one. Let's smoke this. You tell me what you think." He smoked one. I said, "Yes. Can you make these for me?" And we smoked another. And I said, "I want this as well. But can we do this one in a torpedo, this one in a Toro?" And off to the races we went. But and that's when I sorry, didn't mean to cut off, but that's when I also learned that Cordova Morales, up until very recently, did not make cigars for any other brand. They were Cordova Morales. That's what he did. And then I guess he's making them for Hoot and Young now as well, and Tres Leones. So I get to brag a little bit about Z on that end. I'm like, yeah, of course I have Z, but did you know that Z is the master blender for Hoot and Young cigars and Tres Leones? Only those two. So that's a little feather in my cap. I like to. If you haven't guessed, I'm a very humble man.
So you are in very good company for sure, because I've also reviewed the Hoot and Young cigar, one of those, and I am very impressed. I'm always impressed with what Z does. The process that you went through, what was your expectation, and what how did you think about your first two blends based on what maybe your first experience with cigars was?
Yeah, what I wanted and what I thought some people might like, my knowledge of it was nil, and the process was a lot of Buffalo Trace. I knew I wanted a cigar, obviously, from a marketing standpoint, and still knowing nothing about this industry, well, knowing nothing about this side of it. So I've got to have something that is an everyman smoke. I need a non-smoker's cigar. What can I give to somebody? And they go, "Oh, well, I don't really smoke, but I'd like to smoke." And I'm going, this is the Barbary. This is a light, easy, mellow, smooth, not going to bite you. And then I wanted something that also was going to nip at you a little bit, and you'll find out soon, I imagine, about the Panthera. It's San Andreas Maduro and a torpedo. I think it's a 6x52, and that's got a little more bite. But I do find that I am selling a lot more Barberries, but I get a lot more feedback on the Panthera. I get a lot of love on the Panthera. I don't get hate on the Barbary, but I hear, good things from the Barbary. It's a good cigar. And that's why I joke. I say, "Oh, it's a non-smoker cigar."
So we're going to come back to the blends in a moment. At this point, we are sponsored by Frontline Cigars, and Frontline Cigars is always on front line of flavor, innovation, and giving back to those who serve. As a first responder-owned company based in Chicagoland, Frontline Cigars strives to give back to those who serve, whether it be first responders or military, through numerous charitable foundations. At frontlinecigars.com, you will find a wide range of cigars from boutique to everyday brands and a fine selection of cigar accessories swag. We're also today sponsored by Arizona Cigars. Arizona Cigars, where passion is not just a word, it is a way of life. Arizona Cigars are premium handmade long leaf cigars, each rolled to the highest quality of masterful rollers. Each hand that touches the process takes pride in the quality and craftsmanship of every cigar that goes into every box from Arizona Cigars. Do it with passion and reach for a Arizona cigar the next time you're looking for a fine smoke. Thank you to my sponsors. Without you, this is hard to do. So, we got two blends, you said. Um, Talk about these blends, and more importantly, not just the blend itself, but also talk to me about why the name, because I looked up some information and I'm curious about the Barbary, because that triggered some things on a search.
I apologize, Jimmy. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Come here real quick. Hold on. Say hello. I want you to come up here and say hello. Say, hey, boss. Hey, Boston Jimmy. Say, what are you doing, Boston Jimmy? Boston Jimmy. This is one of the Tres Leones. It's part of my pride here. Say, are you getting ready to go to bed? This is little Henry. This is my this is the second generation of Tres Leones. You'll have to deal with him in a few years.
I'm my dada.
I'm the dada.
I'm my dada.
We're talking about blends.
Yes.
I apologize. So this is gonna make a lot of people probably upset, but probably not a lot of people. There's a small subset, I believe, that are really into Cameroon. So I was posed with a Cameroon wrapper for the Barbie, and Cameroon wrapper to me is it's an acquired taste. It's not bad. So this is in conversation with Z. I really going back to the non-smoker cigar. He said, "Tell you what," he said, "let's put an Ecuadorian Connecticut on this Nicaraguan long filler binder." Tasted it. So regarding the blends, as you know, a lot of master blenders are not going to tell you what's in their blends, and for good reason. There's not a lot of contract signing for a lot of this stuff. There is when you get, I'm assuming, a little bit bigger. I am still very, very, and I use this term loosely because of what I've learned about the term boutique. I'm not boutique. I am a guy with a business partner, and we order 1,000 cigars at a time. And initially I thought boutique, but another buddy of mine, Dave Blanco, you know Dave, I actually watched your podcast, We're Taking It to the Nub with Dave. He told me boutique cigars are categorized as, I think it's 1 million cigars a year and less, something like that. So I've got a little mountain to climb on that end. So I'm a labor of love kind of cigar. But yeah, the Barbary is an Ecuadorian Connecticut shade, Nicaraguan filler and binder. And the Panthera is San Andreas Maduro. And I actually, this is the knowledge that I've learned recently, that I saw something about a toothy cigar recently. Now I learned about plume from Mario, because I've got 3 humidors, and that's because of a man named Warren Casey at Cigar Life. I was sitting with him one day. I said, "How big is your humidor?" He said, "Which one?" And I said, "Oh, well, that answers my question." So now I have 3 humidors. One day I was looking through my humidor. This was years ago. And I thought, "Oh my God, I've got mold all over my cigars." I take it up to Mario. He goes, "Oh, no, that's plumage." He said, "That's good stuff. You leave it on there and you light it." And then I learned recently about a toothy cigar, which I'm led to believe is oily capsule-like deposits on a cigar, which are more or less regarded as a fantastic addition. I had a big concern. I took delivery of some cigars, and I'm hand banding to myself, because hindsight, I didn't have my labels down to Nicaragua in time to be banded. So I am sitting here with an Elmer's glue stick putting bands. Every cigar, every Tres Leones cigar you smoke, I have touched. Sometimes I wear gloves. Most of the time I wash my hands. But I was really concerned. I opened a bundle to put bands on, and I thought, "Oh my God, what's wrong with these cigars?" And I do a little research, and I'm like, "Oh damn, all right." Z did me really good here, because a toothy cigar is something to be regarded. And so a lot of the Pantheras in the shipment that I just got are have a lot of oil deposits on them, and like I said, I've been getting fantastic feedback on the Panthera. I don't get bad feedback on Barbary, but I hear more about Panthera than anything. So that's about the extent of my knowledge on the book.
So the names of your two blends, the Barbary and the Pantera, what do they mean to you?
So the Barbary, this was again a lot of just minute research. I'm like, look, I'm going to start a cigar company named Three Lions. I think that my Vitolas, their names need to coincide with that, you know. So I looked up the Barbary line, and as you said to me earlier, you're like, the Barbary's an age-old. It's the Metro Goldwyn Mayer, the MGM movie lion. That is the Barbary lion. You think of a Barbary, think of that lion coming out right before your movie starts. Exactly. And that's what I want. That was my cornerstone. I thought the Barbary is going to be the cornerstone of this to start in. And then when we decided to do the Panthera, I was like, all right, darker, heavier, just a little more bite. And I'm looking it up. I'm doing some research. The Panthera genus, a darker maned lion, a little more aggressive, found in different regions. And I'm like, that's my Panthera right there. So I mean, it's all. I don't want to come across as a guy who doesn't know his lions, because now I definitely need to know my lions. But yeah, that's sort of how that's going, and it's going pretty well. Just going back to the Tres Leones and a couple of gringos, I realized that I started a cigar company with a Spanish name, and I thought, my God, I'm going to start cold calling. I'm not a great salesman. I love people, but if it's not something I'm really behind, I'm just not a good salesman. I'm a terrible car salesman, is what I'm trying to say. I'm a pretty good cigar salesman, because what I've got, I think, it's rated 90 by Stogie Press. Again, I'll reference that. But I wanted to make sure I lost my train of thought. I apologize. Yeah.
So can we expect from Tres Leones another blend that's going to reflect another lion breed? Is that how it's going to go? We're going to go through breeds of lions?
I think so, for just a little while. I think there's only 3 or 4 more that I can pronounce. So after that, I'll probably just start calling him Henry Jr. And then my new son, my 7-month-old's name is actually Leo. So you'll have a Leo Reserva. And then I'll have to figure out a Spanish sounding Jacob, and then his sons Teddy and John. Who knows what to expect from Tres Leones? What I can tell you to expect from Tres Leones is a quality premium cigar, and probably pretty artful.
Outside of the Cigar Life shop and lounge in Lakeland, where else can your cigars be found? How can people get your cigar? If they don't live here in Florida, let's say, how can they find your cigars?
Well, they can find them on TresLeonesCigars.com.
Okay.
And I'm very surprised. Like I said, obviously we've rounded this base 100 times. It's very new into the industry. I'm surprised that I'm in 11 retailers in Central Florida. And when I say Central Florida, I mean Davenport to Lake. But 11 different spots are selling my cigars. They're reordering, but a big portion of my sales are coming from online people. And surprisingly, people I don't know. I don't know how they're finding out about it. And there you go. That's the website. And I got to give all the credit to my wife because I built the website and then she said, well, let me see if I can fix it for you. And then that's what she came up with because it was probably just, it was nonsense before she got a hold of it.
So when I look at your website and others do that, you did something interesting. You've made a single vitola for each blend, as opposed to coming out with a whole schedule of blends. I mean, of vitolas. Each blend in the single vitola is priced at $10.
Yes, sir.
So what's
Well,
the strategy behind?
frankly, I'm broke. Jimmie, I'm broke. I, that's, it's funny. Hindsight. I'm learning a lot. Again, hindsight. I didn't do boxes with my first order. That was a big oversight. I didn't do, a Robusto or a Culebra or anything like that with each Vitola. I just said, I like a Toro. I can deal with a 50 ring gauge. I can deal with a 52. This feels good in my hand. I feel like most people will enjoy this. This is doable for everybody. And I will tell you, transitioning from that into the price point. The price point has actually been dropped. I started off at a $12 price point. I was sitting with Z in the warehouse, and he said, "What do you want?" I said, "I want a $12 cigar." I said, "I want to stand my cigar right up next to Monte Cristo." I said, "I want to stand them next to Fuente. I want any of them. Any $12 cigar you got, I want you to light mine and go, damn, okay, I like it." And so that's what Z blended and made. I got my cigars in. I started trying to hawk them around town. I started getting a lot of pushback about a $12 price. And again, I'll go to, I spent the day with Dave Blanco, he's a Masonic brother of mine.
Yes.
So he was very gracious to me and spent an entire day with me at his place in Clearwater. And he said, "Look, man," he smoked a cigar. He said, "Look, you got a good cigar." He said, "You don't have a $12 cigar." I said, "Why not? Are we allowed to cuss on this?" He said, "Who the F are you?" I said, "What?" He said, "Who the F are you?" He said, "I don't mean that in any disrespect." He said, "But who are you?" He said, "You got a $12 cigar. You might have a $12 cigar." He said, "But why is anyone in the world going to buy a Tres Leones cigar when they can buy a Monte Cristo white label, when they can buy a Fuente Don Carlo Reserva, when they can buy a Cardigan? Why? And I said, fair. That's a fair point." So I circled the wagons and sort of did some math and thought, what can I do here? He said, "What you do," he said, "you get a good following for Tres Leones. He said, because you got a damn good stick." He said, "You sell those cigars for a year. And then you come out with your Vitola. That's $12. He said, and then people go, oh, well, I like Tres Leones. I'll pay that extra $2. My problem was when I go to cigar lounges, I buy $12 cigars and I smoke. And that's in my mind, it was probably a wrong move, but I thought, I like $12 cigars. I think the majority of people probably buy $12 cigars, which I was sorely mistaken on. But I am, like I said, I like to learn from my mistakes, and I like to learn from anyone else who wants to give me information. I'm a sponge. I am a pompous man, but regarding the industry, if you want to teach me, I'm here to learn.
So in this process with Z, being a cigar smoker that you were, what did you learn about blending, flavors, burn, construction? What was your process? What did you gather out of that initial process of getting your inaugural blends out?
So basically it came down to business again. Again, I claim to be no aficionado. I claim to just like premium sticks. And so Z and I were discussing price points on these blends that he had developed and he said that I could use. And when he told me the price, he said, I don't know where the margins are for me on that. And he said, look, man, he said, if you want this price amount, this amount of sticks, I can sell them to you. And then you sell them for $6. You sell them for $7. He said, but if you want to produce a premium cigar, this is what they cost. And I said, okay, this is what I want. I want to be able to, like, you know, I would have been brokenhearted if you would have put up a review and, you know, gave it a 78. I was like, no, Jimmie, I'm not interested in the fucking interview. I apologize. But I knew, and that's what I have put 90% faith in Z, and he's come through every time. I mean, he's just, it goes back to the industry. Him, Mario, Patty, Emil, Dave, they're all just, everyone's here to help, and that's what I love about it. They're gonna tell you what you don't want to hear, and you've got to be prepared to accept that and learn from that, and that's fine. And that's what you should be. Because if you're not prepared to learn and adapt and make your product better, then what are you doing?
You know, my experience with Z, and I've known Z for, 6 years at least, in his beginning of what he started. And everything he's created, all his own personal craft has been amazing. And I've seen what he's done, and I really enjoy that he is branching out and helping others like you and other small batch blenders to come out with new brands that Cadobra and Morales is behind, because that name needs to be recognized in this industry. He really knows what he's doing. That's a family operation that is, you know, it's the American dream. He has made the American dream happen, and he's making the American dream happen for you.
All bad. I like
All
that.
right. So at this point, we're coming up on 10 minutes before the hour. I know we started a little late. What I do now is I got to go through what's new on Stogie Press news and reviews this week. So let me branch off into something here. We will go into, so in cigar reviews, I reviewed the Monte Cristo Artisan. Oh man, things are slow here tonight. All right, so we reviewed the Monte Cristo Artisan Series Batch 1 TAA exclusive. This is a cigar that was released in 2019. We came in with an 89 on this rating. This cigar here was created for the TAA 50th anniversary, and that's the Tobacco Association of America. This cigar, beautiful looking cigar, had a nice little extra added flap on the footer. They did a really nice job on obviously the adornment on the cigar. What's more important about this is the ash held nice, and then it started to go off the rails. I actually smoked 2 of these, and similarly they did that. A little off burn on the burn cone, needed a little touch up. Flavor wise, I found this flavor to be absolutely very interesting flavor profile. It started off with some honey and his chocolate and cedar. We ended up with some citrus floral aromas, and there was these beautiful orange notes that came into the profile. Ended up with some caramel, earthy, and citrus. Flavor-wise, it was very nice, but the burn was where the biggest problems occurred in this cigar, requiring touch-ups, jagged burn, offsetted burn cone. So unfortunately, in the way I review cigars, burn means a lot to me. And this one here just kind of fell short on the burn, not so much on the flavor. We already talked about the Leones Barbary. The Barbary, we rated 90. I would say that this cigar here, you're now learning about the brand. Let me tell you, this cigar right here was absolutely beautiful in my mind. Ecuadorian Connecticut. Didn't have that tremendous bitterness that you get out of a Connecticut on the cigar. So you guys did a great job in the blend with a Nicaraguan binder and filler. When you come down to the burn, you can see the burn was very nice through most of this right here. Beautiful burn cone. Little bit of off burn after the ash drop, not major. Continued picking up, still giving a nice burn cone. I like the burn on it. You had this sweet grassy note in the beginning of this, which I would expect from the Connecticut. It's not uncommon, but I really enjoyed the fact that there was some dry fruit notes that came in with this sweet cinnamon nuance. Right at the end of the first third, there was this beautiful cinnamon that I was getting in the profile. It did get a little astringent, which then found its way and it followed up with a citrus peel. So there was this interesting change that occurred. And sometimes that astringent note comes in before you get some of the citrus coming through. There was a nice caramel note, spice, nut, natural sweetness. I really like this cigar. I rated this a 90. Little mild jag in the burn with a small off burn, a touch of bitterness, and a slight astringent in the second third. Definitely something you want to go pick some of these up and check out what Trey Leones has to offer. As far as news, so those are the two reviews we did this week. It was a light review week. News-wise, some interesting news came out this week. Pastani Cigars announced their War Bear of Vocek 2020. So if you remember in 2019, Pastani came out with a cigar called the War Bear. The War Bear is named after a bear that during World War II in the battles in Italy, the bear actually was helped bringing in arms to the troops, to the Polish troops. So this is their next rendition of it. It's going to be a Toro barber pole. This is looking forward to trying this cigar out for sure. Another thing that came out in the news this week was J.C. Newman has been going through a renovation of their factory and their house in Tampa, Florida here, and they've now opened the doors to the public, and they have a new factory tour. What's important here is that you can always go to J.C. Newman and check it out. They have a shop and they've got a small museum. They have a nice museum there now. They've expanded the museum actually, and you can go in there and see the museum and the shop for free. But for $15, they're offering a behind-the-scenes tour now of the factory. And the beautiful part of this, and if you've been following J.C. Newman over the last 8 months, they've been talking about their renovation. They've been posting pictures on Facebook. They've been discovering places in their factory they didn't even know existed. When they opened up a wall, they broke through something and they opened up a door. So this tour is going to give you an experience of the J.C. Newman factory, which is 110 years old here in Tampa, Florida. So if you're in the area and you want to get a really good tour of a factory, which is the oldest factory in the United States, check out J.C. Newman. And for $15, this is a cigar geek's dream. And then lastly, two more things in the news. Blackwork Studio, James Brown and his organization down in Nicaragua at Fabrica Villa Negra, they've come out with the 2020 SNR. So the 2020 SNR is they had a SNR last year. This is in addition to that. They've come out with a number of new releases on this. There's a Lancero, there's a Corona Gorda, and the picture you saw earlier is the Culebra, which is the 3 cigars twisted together. So these are new for Blackwork Studio. They're Sumatra wrappers with Nicaraguan Habano, Nicaraguan and Dominican fillers. You can check these out. The Culebra is $35, but the general cigar price is $9.50. But here you get 3 cigars bundled together. The last piece of news that came out was Drew Estate had planned a barn smoker earlier in the year. Their barn smoker series, they canceled. They were going to do virtual barn smokers. And then this week they announced that they're going to cancel the barn smoker virtual event that they were going to do here in Florida. And unfortunately, it's all because of the COVID problem. So they're taking precautionary measures here. They will still be donating $50,000 to Cigars for Warriors. So Drew Estate's still committing to that regardless of this event. They're still going to donate 50 grand to Cigars for Warriors. And that's the news for the week. So let me come back to Henry. So here we go. So that's news and reviews. I know we've been having a little technical issues with connections here. I'm in an undisclosed location.
Hey, you're about to go celebrate, so
I am
totally acceptable, my friend.
I mean,
I don't even know if I would have done this interview if it would have been the eve of such a special night for you.
I thank you. Last year I had my 60th birthday, which was tomorrow, which would be my birthday's tomorrow, and we had this magnificent party I threw at my local lounge. We had a great time. It lasted until the wee hours of the morning, into shenanigans and everything else you can imagine. But 60 years old is a big milestone. 61 is just tells me I'm getting old. And I had the opportunity that a good friend of mine from New Hampshire that I've known for a very long time and haven't seen in 10 years has a condo here. And he said he's coming down to hang out. And I was like, you know what? Let me just swing on over. This morning, we spent the whole day hanging on the beach, swimming in the pool. And tonight's, we're going to do a celebration, man.
Very good. Very good.
Cool.
I love it, man. Hey, just real quick shout out to Markel and Wayne Walford. I'm sure you've met them at Cigar Life.
Yep.
If you're been down there. So he has got the poker guy now. He's making cigar pokers. I actually have never used a cigar poker because I'm a blasphemous cigar smoker. I just put them out whenever. And last night when I was dropping off my first order to Cigar Life in Lakeland, I said, "What do you think about these?" I said, "Why don't you give me one? I might do a shout out tomorrow night on this interview." So, it's Boston Jimmie. He's got a look. I sent my cigars to you for review because I thought, the people that I respect you, and I wanted to do this. So I got a free poker last night from the poker guys. I was like, hey, you know what? I'll go ahead and do that shout out. Let me get that for you. Let me get that
Hey,
poker.
it's good. You know what? It's good. It's good to get a little of those. I do like my pokers for sure. What
These are fantastic. I've never
do
used one.
is-
It's literally the first time I've ever put a cigar on a poker. They make them to look just like a cigar. I actually have a Opus X
nice.
cigar poker made of brass.
Well,
Yeah,
they
pretty
retail
impressive, I
for?
gotta say.
What do those retail for?
I'll send one to you. It'll be a birthday present.
What do they retail for?
I believe they retail for 20. I think they're $24 retail. I mean, quality construction. I mean, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with what they're doing. I don't know how they do the engraving. I don't know how they make the ends of them. I imagine they use a grinder for sharpening. So that's about all I know about it. They're great people too. I mean, Wayne and Markel. If you ever met any cigar smoker I've met, like I said 100 times tonight, the industry is an open arms kind of place that I have found anyways. Everyone is willing to help. Everyone wants you to do well. No one wants you to fail. And I really thought that I would go into a dog eat dog kind of thing, and I have not found that to be the case in any sense. It's been fantastic, and I hope I don't remain a boutique cigar company. I hope I have to take my 3-car garage and turn it into a walk-in
Yeah.
studio.
Well, you are aligned with one of the best in the industry. I can
I
tell
agree.
you.
Quite a few actually, yeah.
You got a lot of love, like I said, for Z and M and Cadobra and Morales.
Love them.
I've always loved their craft. So thank you very much. I would say next week we are going to have on Taking It to the Nub. Hopefully our technology works a little better. It'll be fun. We're bringing in live from Paris, France. Paris, France. Think about that. We're going across the ocean. We're bringing in Maya Selva. So if you don't know Maya Selva cigars, you're going to learn about them next week. Maya Selva is one of the first female brand owners of cigars. She's been in this business for a long time, not only in Europe, but here in the United States. She was actually educated at my secondary alma mater, Florida Institute of Technology in Melbourne, Florida. So she's got a great brain on her head. I love what her craft has. So we're going to have a good time next week talking to Maya Selva. And then the following week, we're hoping to have Danny DeFabio from Rodriguez Cigars in Key West, Florida. And if you're not familiar with Rodriguez Cigars, yeah, you got to tune in for that because that's a special show. He's a very deep, good friend of mine over the years. I knew his grandfather before he passed away, and we're going to have a good show talking about the journey that Rodriguez Cigars has been on. So I want to thank everybody for joining today. I apologize for the technical glitches that we've had.
Hey, my name is Henry.
Please.
You don't have to call me a technical glitch.
Henry, I want to thank you very much for joining. I'm hoping people learned a little more about Trade Leones Cigars. Read the review I did on it. I have one more review coming out on their line, and if it's what I expect, it should be just as good, if not better. Check them out. If you can't find them in your local area, I know a small growing company, leonescigars.com.
That's the one.
All right. Henry.
Hey, Jimmie, thank you very much again for having me. This was my first interview for pretty much anything. I think it went pretty well. I looked good. I did my hair the right way, and you look good yourself. I mean,
Do my hair.
to 61. I think it's all right. Hey,
That's
happy
it.
birthday. Thank you. Thank you.
Are you
very
a
much.
Bucks
It
fan?
really, I appreciate the opportunity very much, more than you know.
Are you a Bucks fan?
I am now.
There you go. So tomorrow, we take care of Drew Brees.
Absolutely. I'm a Seminole.
All right. It's-
Yeah, we might. I haven't checked the score, but we might have gone 3-4 tonight.
All right. I'm a Miami Canes fan, so
Hey, look, you're like a bad cousin. As long as you didn't say Florida Gators, you're all right with me.
there you go. That's the rivalry, right? That's funny. We all hate the Gators for some reason, except my daughter who's
Terrible.
lived there.
Jimmie, thank you so much again. I really do appreciate it. And let's do this again after you try that toothy Panthera out.
Absolutely. We'll have some more fun. We'll talk some more. And maybe I'll get back over to Cigar Life and maybe we can have a show right from Cigar Life.
You don't even, yeah, we could do that, or you could just come to my new house and we can just actually, what happens at this house you might not want to broadcast on the internet. It'll be a mess. It'll be a total mess.
That's all right. It's all
Thank
good.
you so much again. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And thank you everybody for joining. And we'll see you next week for another episode of Taking It to the Know.
Cheers.
Cheers.